The sun was salmon and hazy in the west.
Dudong thought to himself he would tell his father about Tiang when he got home, after he had unhitched the carabao from the plow and led it to its shed and fed it. He was hesitant about saying it, but he wanted his father to know.
I will tell him. I will tell him.
The ground was broken up into many fresh wounds, and fragrant with a sweetish, earthy smell. A short, colorless worm marched blindly to Dudong's foot and crawled calmly over it. But he did not bother to look where the worm is, but thought of his age.
I'm 17. I am not young anymore.
Dudong realized that he had pimples on his face, and the down on his upper lip was already dark, which means he is already a man. He felt he could do anything.
I am growing into a man. No, I am already a man.
Dudong started homeward, thinking how he would break his news to his father. He wanted to marry, Dudong did. Dudong stumbled upon a creek on his way home. As he was walking, he thought of Tiang, his girl. She had a small brown face, small black eyes, and glossy hair. She was a dream girl to him. It was dusk when he reached home. The petroleum lamp on the ceiling already was lighted, and the low unvarnished square table was set for supper. They sat down on the floor around the table to eat. They had fried freshwater fish, rice, bananas, and caked sugar. Dudong was still thinking about how he would tell his father. Dudong's mother removed the dishes when they were through and went out to the battalion to wash them. She walked with slow, careful steps, and Dudong wanted to help her carry the dishes out, but he was tired and now felt lazy. He wished he had a sister. Meanwhile, his father remained in the room, sucking a diseased tooth. It was paining him again, Dudong knew.
Tate, I am going to marry Tiang.
His father looked at him silently and stopped sucking the broken tooth. The silence became more intense and cruel, and Dudong wished his father would just suck that troublesome tooth again. His father was just looking at him without saying anything.
I will marry Tiang. I will marry Tiang.
His father just kept gazing at him silently, and Dudong fidgeted on his seat.
I asked her last night to marry me and she said, yes, I want your permission.
I want it.
Must you marry, Dodong?
Dudong resented his father's question. His father himself had married. Dudong made a quick impassioned easy in his mind about selfishness, but later he got confused.
You are very young, Dodong.
I am 17.
That's very young to get married at.
I want to marry. Ting's a good girl.
Tell your mother.
You tell her, Tate.
All right, Dodong.
You will let me marry Tiang?
Son, if that is your wish, of course.
Dudong stood in the sweltering noon heat, sweating profusely, so that his camiseta was damp. He was still as a tree, and his thoughts were confused. Ting was giving birth to their first child. She gave screams that chilled his blood. He did not want her to scream like that. He seemed to be rebuking him. He began to wonder madly if the process of childbirth was really painful. In a few moments, he would be a father.
Father, father.
He whispered the word with strangeness. He was young, he realized now, contradicting himself. Of 9 months comfortable, people will be telling him soon, your son, Dudong.
Come up, Dudong. It's over.
It's a boy.
Dudong felt more embarrassed and did not move. What a moment for him. His parents' eyes seemed to pierce him through, and he felt limp.
She is sleeping, but you go on.
The hillet was wrapping the child. Dudong heard it cry. The thin voice pierced him clearly. He could not control the swelling of happiness in him.
You give him to me. You give him to me.
Blas was not Dudong's only child. Many more children came. For 6 successive years, a new child came along. It seemed the coming of children could not be helped. Dudong got angry with himself sometimes. Ting did not complain, but the bearing of children told on her. She was shapeless and thin now, even if she was young. There was interminable work to be done. Cooking, laundering, the house, the children. She cried sometimes, wishing she had not married. She did not tell Dudong this, not wishing him to dislike her, yet she wished she had not married. Not even Dudong, whom she loved. There has been another suit, Lucio, older than Dudong by 9 years, and that was why she had chosen Dudong. Lucio had married another after her marriage to Dudong, but he was childless until now.
If I had married Lucio, maybe I wouldn't born him children. I think that would be better. But I love Dodong.
One night, as he lay beside his wife, he rose and went out of the house. He stood in the moonlight, tired and querulous. He wanted to ask questions and somebody to answer him. He wanted to be wise about many things.
Why life did not fulfill all of youth's dreams. Why it must be so. Why one was forsaken after love.
Dudong would not find the answer. Maybe the question was not to be answered. It must be so to make youth youth. Youth must be dreamfully sweet. Dudong returned to the house, humiliated by himself. When Blas was 18, he came home one night very flustered and happy. It was late at night, and Tiang and the other children were asleep. Dudong heard Blas' steps, for he could not sleep well of nights.
You better go to sleep. It is late.
Itay, I am going to marry Tona. She accepted me tonight. Itay, you think it over.
Dudong stays silent.
I love Tona and I want her.
You want to marry Tona?
Yes.
He did not want Blas to marry yet. Blas was very young. The life that would follow marriage would be hard.
Must you marry?
I will marry Tona.
Dudong kept silent, hurt.
You have objections, Itay?
Son, none.
But he was helpless. He could not do anything. Youth must triumph. Now. Love must triumph. Now. Afterwards, it will be life. As long ago, youth and love did triumph for Dudong, and then life. Dudong looked wistfully at his young son in the moonlight. He felt extremely sad and sorry for him.